Hey guys, and welcome back to Gospel Soul Food Show. I am one of your hosts, Marlena, and we have with us the lovely Fabiana and the lovely Mario. Welcome, ladies. So, guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. I want to direct you to our website, gospelsoulfood.com/live.show. We're inviting you there so that you can sign up to be a part of our Gospel Soul Food family. Sign up and get some updates and notifications from us. We promise we won't spam you. So again, welcome to the show. Let's jump right in it. So tonight we are talking about the kids. We're talking about the children. So we have, it's almost time for school to start. So how does everyone feel about kids going back to school at camp, on campus? Me personally, I have a 6-year-old, and I voted to send him to school to actually go to the classroom. I believe that they are taking precautions and measures to help keep kids apart and all that. My son, he learns a lot better in that type of setting. We did the online school while we were in quarantine, and he did okay, but he did not thrive like he was thriving when he was actually there at the school. So, and we also feel like because he's an only child, like we want to kind of let him kind of interact with some other kids as well. So I am pro going back to brick and mortar building. What do you ladies think?
I'll let you go first, Mom. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't have kids.
Well, that doesn't mean you don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I have one adult child who is on this show, and I have one child who's in middle school, and he wants so badly to go back to school. And my husband and I have talked about it, and I support him going back to school. And it takes a lot of prayer, and sometimes there may be a little apprehension, but at the end of the day, we don't know how life is unfolding in general, and every day there are dangers that we could possibly face. And so then the psychological ramifications for him continuing to stay in the home where he is almost like the only child because his other sibling is an adult, so he's very isolated with very little interaction. And I think that the toll that it takes on him socially and emotionally has been very heavy. And so I'm for sending him back to school as well, even though, there's a little, uneasiness because we don't really know what's going on. But I believe with prayer and taking necessary precautions, which we do even now, and prayerfully they'll do in the schools, that he'll be fine. I just don't know how long he could, survive and thrive, at home being isolated. So something has to change.
Yeah, and I really like how you mentioned the psychological, the psyche of the child and what they could be going through mentally during this time, because I know even on the show we've talked about like adults, like last week we were talking about how we're doing mentally and tips and things that we can implement to kind of help us get through mentally. But what about the children? Like how are they coping? My son, he's a homebody. He loves it. We bought him a PlayStation, and he plays it faithfully every day. And if we let him, he will play that all day into the night and take a small nap between 11 p.m. and 2 a.m. and he'll be up playing again if we let him. So we really. But like you said, to your point with your son, he's a little older than my son, so that being isolated and away from friends and other kids his age, that can definitely take a toll mentally on a child. All right, so Fabiana, what you got? I know you don't have a dog in the fight, but you like your mom said, you can have an opinion. What do you think about it?
Well, my opinion is it goes this way, and maybe this first phrase will make sense. if you have to have a remote meeting about children going back to school for safety reasons, what makes you think that it's really safe for kids to come back together? And on top of that, have you seen the plans that they have for these? You're talking about the social and emotional, realm of all of that. How do you think a child is going to feel when they have to sit 6 feet away from their friend? They can't play together during recess. That's going to even be like, okay, now I can see them, but I can't touch them. I can't talk to them. You know what I'm saying? And the biggest thing I can think about is like for high schoolers, right? So during high school, typical girls, it wasn't me, I was a late bloomer, but typical girls start having their boyfriends and everything. So just imagine if every time that they saw somebody that they liked or they saw their friends, they'll be like, okay, put on your mask, stay 6 feet apart. During lunch, they're gonna have to sit spaced out, which means that they're gonna have more lunches, which is gonna take time away from instructional. And if one of the children gets sick, the public schools are gonna get lawsuits. And when really we can avoid all of that by not sending our kids back to school. I mean, if you have children and you are like, gung-ho sending them back to school, you do that. However, I do think that it is not very wise to send them back, not right now, because the custodians barely want to clean our bathrooms, so they're going to have to sterilize. So, just that much.
And you make a really valid point. I didn't even think about the trauma it could cause with being in the room with your friends and not being able to actually socialize. Could have a worse effect than just being away from them completely. So that's a really good. I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, that could be traumatic as well.
Absolutely, especially for younger kids who naturally just go up to people and touch and all, just all that stuff. That could definitely put a strain on them socially. So that's a very valid point. So, all right. Well, anything else you ladies want to chime in on? I think we need to just obviously pray about everything. Pray and ask for God's guidance when whatever you decide to do with your children. If you decide to send them back or do online, definitely be in prayer and pray for protection, whether they're staying in school or staying at home. And we'll just have to see what happens. We just pray that the Lord, guides the people that are in these positions who are making these decisions. The heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. So we just pray that he'll turn it whichever way that he sees fit. So, all right. Well, ladies, that was a good conversation, some food for thought while we're, thinking of different ways that we can help our children. But Gospel Soul Food family, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us for a little bit tonight. We will see you guys next week. Again, don't forget to visit gospelsoulfood.com/live-show where you can get updates and put your email in so we can send you notifications as well. And that's all we got for you. Well, ladies, any closing remarks, closing words? Nope.
Don't stop praying.
That's right.
And believe in God.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and we hope you guys have a wonderful evening. We will see you back here next Thursday, 8 p.m. live. Peace.